Now the earth was corrupt in God's sight, and was full of violence. God saw how corrupt the earth had become, for all the people on earth had corrupted their ways. So God said to Noah,
I am going to put an end to all people, for the earth is filled with violence because of them. I am surely going to destroy both them and the earth. The simplest solution here, and I've really thought this through, is to kill everyone. Everyone except you, Noah. You're a good man. I need you to build a boat, a big one that's bigger than that 6-masted schooner, the Wyoming, you know, the biggest wooden ship ever built, the one that sank once it was in the water. You and your family will build it. I'd help, but I'm helping a friend move it. You understand. It will have one window, about 18 inches squared, you know, for ventilation. Don't worry about the ammonia from the animal waste. It'll be fine. You'll bring 2 of every animal. I'll gather them for you from around the world, including penguins, jaguars, koalas, and so on. These will repopulate the earth afterwards. Oh, and you'll also need to bring food for all of them, except the carnivores, who will go on a juice cleanse or something. You can probably tell where I'm going with this. That's right. I'm going to flood the entire planet. I mean, there is no other way, or at least it's the only thing I could think of. It will rain for 40 days and 40 nights, but the waters will prevail on the earth for 150 days. But then the tops of the mountains won't be visible for another 70 days or so. But then you need to wait 40 more days before opening a window. You don't want to let the bugs in. Then, send out a bird, a raven, and it will keep flying back and forth until the water is gone. That will be your cue to leave the ark. Eventually. Just be aware that the dove you sent out is eventually not going to come back. Did I say dove? Anyway, it will eventually disappear, but it's one of those you brought 14 of, so it should be good. I did tell you to bring 14 of them, right? I'm sure I wouldn't forget to mention that when giving you instructions. Anyway, every living thing on Earth will suffer a horrible, painful death. That includes all the birds, livestock, wild animals. I guess most of the fish will die too, because we'd be mixing fresh water with salt water. That also means pregnant women, children, and babies will all drown. But their parents were violent people, so they deserve to drown. This is the most merciless, merciful thing I could think of to cleanse the earth. Once the flood is over, the creatures can leave the ark and reproduce. Of course, the carnivores will still need to be on a diet until the rest of the species can sustain losses without going extinct. And I guess I'll just teleport the kangaroos and koalas back to Australia. I don't want a bunch of fossils lying around. Those would clearly show a migration pattern from the Middle East to Australia. I'll also have to generate enough vegetation for the herbivores to eat immediately. But I can do that in a day, as long as it's not a Saturday. I'll also need to alter their DNA so they don't demonstrate a reduced population signature. No genetic bottlenecks. Except for the cheetahs, I'll leave their genomes alone. That will throw the scientists off the trail. I'll also have to rearrange the geology. A global flood would deposit a single, globally consistent sediment layer that would be identifiable in rock strata on every continent. And we can't have that. I don't want geologists finding a global flood layer. Noah, you'll need to scatter some pottery and ruins around so it looks like other civilizations didn't experience the flood at the same time as you did. And once that is all over, I will create a symbol in the sky for you, a rainbow. And this is no easy feat. I have to modify physics. Have you ever noticed that when light passes through water, all the wavelengths bend together? Well, I'm going to change that. I'm going to make it so different wavelengths bend at slightly different angles. That's what I'll use to make the rainbow. Of course, that would also mean you'll see colors more richly, but ignore that. The rainbow is the important part. That is assigned to myself to remind me to not commit genocide again. At least not with water. Fire, plague, the usual options are still on the table, but that's a problem for future me. So, a fresh start for you and me. A clean slate. Simple and straightforward. Just don't go using your free will to avoid building the ark. Otherwise, this entire plan goes to heck. Anyway, get on it. God out.